Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today we're tackling something pretty universal, the search for the perfect cup of coffee.
That elusive perfect cup.
Exactly. For some, it's that quick, strong espresso to kick off the day. For others, maybe a big shared cold brew on a weekend afternoon.
Right. It's so personal.
Totally. It's your own brew talk, really.
Yeah.
But what if we said there are fundamental things you can learn to seriously level up your coffee game?
Precisely. And that's what we're doing today. Unpacking the paths to finding your perfect cup. Starts way back, with the bean and goes right through to how you sip it.
Think of it as your home barista boot camp.
Sort of. Where ritual meets, well, some pretty cool chemistry.
Okay, let's get into it. This quest for the perfect cup. We're going layer by layer, and honestly, there's some surprising things in here. Real insights you can use tomorrow morning.
Definitely. Because even with all the personal taste involved, there are these key elements, these levers you can pull that make a huge difference for anyone.
Knowledge is power, even in coffee.
It really is. Moving from just good coffee to, wow, I made this coffee.
Yeah.
Tailored just for you.
All right, ground zero. The bean. We say coffee bean all the time, but what is it actually? I just picture little brown beans.
Well, funny enough, it's technically not a bean like a kidney bean. It's the seed found inside the coffee cherry, the fruit of the plant.
A seed. Okay, so botanical magic from the start.
Pretty much. And these seeds mainly come from two big players, Arabica and Robusta.
Ah, yes, I see that.
They're really different. Arabica, that's known for complex flavors, often a nice brightness or acidity, smoother taste. Like specialty coffee shops.
Gotcha, the fancy stuff.
Often, yeah. Then there's Robusta, bolder, maybe more bitter, definitely packs more caffeine.
Caffeine.
Yeah, if you want that real jolt, especially in blends for espresso, Robusta often plays a part. It's got punch.
Okay, Arabica, Robusta. But then, where it's grown, that changes everything, right? Like terroir in wine.
It's exactly like terroir. It's fascinating how the place, the environment, shapes the bean's personality. It lays the groundwork for flavor.
So give us some examples, like Ethiopia.
Right. Ethiopia, often seen as coffee's birthplace. You get these amazing floral, almost tea-like notes, bright citrus, usually lighter bodied, perfect for pour-overs where those subtleties can really, shine.
Wow. Okay, what about, say, Colombia? That seems really common.
Very common, and for good reason. Colombian coffee often gives you this great balance. Medium body, gentle acidity, those classic chocolatey, nutty flavors. Super approachable, a crowd pleaser.
Makes sense. And Kenya. I hear Kenyan coffee is intense.
Intense is a good word. Vibrant, juicy, sometimes this incredible wine-like complexity and acidity. Really lively.
Totally different from Sumatra, Indonesian coffee.
Completely different world. Sumatran beans often give you this earthy, full-bodied cup. Very low acidity, sometimes spicy, almost woody notes. Heavy, complex in a different way.
It really is a world tour in a mug, just based on where it started.
And altitude within those regions matters too. Higher elevations, like above 1,500 meters. The beans grow slower, become denser.
Denser beans.
Denser means more potential for complex sugars and acids. More nuanced flavor, often higher, brighter acidity. That's why you see labels like SHG or SHB.
Right, I've seen those. Strictly high grown.
Or strictly hard bean, same idea. It tells you it's from up high, promising complexity. It's all part of the bean's inherent potential set by its origin.
Okay, so the bean's origin story is set, but then comes processing after it's picked. How does that change things?
Oh, massively. This is a really critical step, deciding how to get the seed out of the fruit.
Yeah.
And it raises that question. How much does this step, before roasting, shape the final taste?
A lot.
So what are the main ways? Well, you have the washed or wet process. Here, all the fruit pulp is removed mechanically, washed off, before the bean is dried.
Wash clean.
Exactly. And the result, usually a very clean, crisp, bright cup. It really lets the bean's inherent flavors, the origin characteristics, come through clearly, like polishing a gemstone.
Okay, clean and bright. What's the opposite?
That would be the natural or dry process. Here, they dry the entire coffee cherry intact, fruit and all, usually on raised beds in the sun, like drying a grape into a raisin.
Whoa, so the fruit stays on?
Yep. And as it dries, the sugars and compounds from the fruit impart flavor to the bean. You often get much fruitier, sometimes slightly fermented or winey notes. Think big berry flavors, lots of sweetness, heavier body.
Wild. Just leaving the fruit on does
That's
like
amazing. Then there's a middle ground, sort of, called honey or semi-washed processing.
honey process. Does it taste like honey?
Sometimes it has a honey-like sweetness, yeah. They remove the skin, but leave some of the sticky fruit layer, the mucilage, on the bean while it dries.
Ah, so some fruit contact.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It gives you a balance, often a rounded sweetness, maybe a bit more body than washed, but cleaner than natural. Each method really leaves its fingerprint on the final cup.
So much happens before it even gets roasted.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk roasting. This is where the green seeds turn brown and delicious smelling.
This is the transformation phase, where heat develops hundreds of flavor compounds.
Hmm.
And the level of roast is, well, maybe the most obvious flavor dial you can turn.
Right. I used to just grab dark roast thinking it was stronger. What's the real deal with light, medium, dark?
Common starting point. So light roasts. They're roasted for a shorter time, just past the first crack. The goal here is to preserve the bean's origin character.
So you taste the Ethiopianness or the Kenyanness.
Exactly. You get those brighter, fruitier, more acidic, sometimes floral notes. They really showcase the bean's source. Great for pour-overs, methods that highlight clarity.
Okay. Medium roasts. The middle ground.
Pretty much. Roasted a bit longer. Here you get a balance, some origin flavor still there, but you start developing more of the roast flavors, sweetness, body, maybe nutty or chocolatey notes, less bright acidity than light roasts. Very versatile, often a crowd favorite.
The sweet spot for many, maybe.
Could be. Then dark roasts. Roasted longer, often into or past the second crack. Here, the roast characteristics really dominate.
Bold, smoky. Bitter sometimes.
Can be, yeah. Bold, smoky flavors. The origin notes are mostly obscured. You get lower acidity, heavier body, often an oily sheen on the beans. Think classic espresso, French press, that deep, intense coffee flavor.
Okay, that makes more sense than just strong. But what about caffeine? I need to know, did I get that wrong too? Darker equals more caffeine.
Ah, the caffeine myth. Total mythbuster time.
Lay it on me.
Darker roasts do not necessarily have more caffeine. Actually, during roasting, beans expand and lose some mass. So if you measure by weight or by scoop volume, light roasts often have slightly more caffeine.
No way.
The difference isn't usually huge. But yeah, reaching for the darkest roast purely for caffeine, not the best strategy. Light roasts can pack a surprising punch.
Mind blown. Okay, so bean chosen, processed, roasted. Now, grinding. You said this is super important. My swamp water cold brew attempt confirms this.
Oh yeah, grinding fresh right before you brew. Probably the single biggest improvement you can make to your coffee routine, easily. Pre-ground coffee goes stale incredibly fast.
Okay, fresh grind. But the size of the grind matters too, right?
Crucially, it has to match your brewing method. It's all about controlling extraction, how much flavor the water pulls from the grounds.
So walk us through it. Course 4.
Coarse, like sea salt, is for methods with longer contact time, like French press or cold brew. Gives the water time to extract without getting sludgy or bitter.
Okay, medium course.
Good for chemics. A bit finer. Then medium, like coarse sand, is your typical setting for automatic drip machines.
Right, and finer.
Medium fine for things like AeroPress, depending on the recipe. Then fine, like table salt, maybe a bit finer, almost powdery. That's for espresso, where water passes through really fast under pressure.
And super fine.
Extra fine, like flour, is for Turkish coffee, where the grounds are actually consumed.
Why does it matter so much? The matching.
Even extraction, that's the goal. If your grind is inconsistent, some big chunks, some fine dust, the water over-extracts the fines, making it bitter, and under-extracts the chunks, making it sour. All in one cup.
Ugh. Okay, so consistency is key, which leads to grinders. Blade versus burr. Big difference.
Huge difference. A blade grinder just chops the beans randomly, like a blender. You get that inconsistent mix we just talked about, dust and boulders. Disaster for extraction.
So avoid blade grinders if possible.
If you're serious about better coffee, yes. A burr grinder uses 2 revolving abrasive surfaces burrs to crush the beans into a much more uniform size. That consistency is what allows for that even, balanced extraction. It's a worthwhile investment.
Per grinder. Got it. Okay, perfect bean, perfect roast, perfect grind. Now, the actual brewing. So many methods where ritually meets chemistry, you said.
Absolutely. This is where you decide how the water meets the coffee.
Yeah.
Let's start with pour over. V60, Kalita wave, things like that.
Very hands-on.
Very. You control everything.
Yeah.
Water temp, ideally 92 to 96 Celsius, or about 198, 205 Fahrenheit pour speed. Even a bloom phase where you let CO2 escape first.
What kind of cup does that give you?
Super clean, articulate, really highlights the nuances, especially those light roasts. Ratio-wise, start around 1 gram coffee to 15 grams water. You can really geek out here.
Sounds like it. What about the classic French press? Simple, right?
Simple and effective for a certain style. Use steep, coarse grounds in hot water for about 4 minutes, then plunge metal filter. No paper filter means more oils and fine particles get into the cup.
So richer, fuller body.
Exactly. Full-bodied, rich, sometimes a bit silty at the bottom. A very different texture and experience than pour-over. Rustic, robust.
Okay, then espresso,
Mm.
the heart of the cafe.
Right. Tiny amount of water, forced through finely ground coffee under high pressure, usually around 9 bars. It happens fast, 25-30 seconds.
Resulting in
That small, concentrated shot with the golden cream on top, intense. And the base for lattes, cappuccinos, flat whites, all those milky drinks.
Speaking of versatile, AeroPress. It looks weird, but people love it.
It's fantastic. Super versatile, travel-friendly. You can make strong espresso-like coffee or cleaner, filter-style coffee. Very forgiving. Great for experimenting with different recipes and times. A real coffee multi-tool.
Cool. And finally, cold brew. Totally different beast.
Completely. Steep coarse grounds in cold water for a long time, 12, 18, even 24 hours. Then milter.
Low and slow.
Right. The cold water extracts different compounds. You get a very smooth, low acid, often naturally sweet, chocolatey concentrate. Great over ice or mixed. It's all about patience, not precision heat.
So many ways to brew. But wait, there's more. The unsung heroes. Water. Really. How much difference can water make?
Oh, it's huge EE. Maybe the most overlooked factor is 98% of your cup. If your water tastes bad or has weird minerals, your coffee will too.
So what's ideal water? Filtered tap water, okay.
Filter is usually much better than straight tap. Yeah. Ideally, you want clean, fresh water free of chlorine. Mineral content matters too, what we call TDS, total dissolved solids.
Video.
Aim for a range of maybe 75 to 150 parts per million. Too soft, and coffee can taste flat. Too hard, with too many minerals, and it can taste chalky or muted. Plus, scale up your brewer. It literally affects how flavors are extracted.
Wow. Okay, pay attention to water. What about the ratio? You mentioned 1.15 for pour over. Is there a general rule?
The golden ratio is a great starting point. 1 gram of coffee to somewhere between 15 and 18 grams of water. Use a scale. Weigh your beans, weigh your water.
A scale, really?
Yes. It takes out the guesswork. Scoops are inaccurate. A scale means consistency. 1.15 is stronger, 1.18 is a bit lighter. Find your sweet spot within that range. It's key to replicating good results.
Okay, scale. Got it. Temperature and time seem crucial too, not just boiling water.
Definitely not boiling. Too hot, over 96 C or 205 F, scorches the grounds, bitter taste. Too cool, below 90 C or 195 F, under extracts, sour, weak coffee. That 92-96 C range is the sweet spot for most methods.
And time depends on the method.
Absolutely. AeroPress 2-3 minutes, pour over 3-4, French press 4 minutes, espresso 25-30 seconds. Each method needs its specific time for proper extraction. Are you paying attention to these details? They make a huge difference.
Temperature, time, ratio, water.
Yeah.
Got it. Now, for many people, myself included, milk. What's the secret to good milk coffee?
Milk. Well, for espresso drinks, it's all about steamed milk with microfoam. Tiny velvety bubbles integrated into the milk, not big stiff foam sitting on top.
Microfoam. Sounds
Yeah.
fancy.
It makes a huge difference to texture. Whole milk usually froths best, gives the richest feel. Oat milk is a really popular non-dairy option. Now, it steams surprisingly well, adds a nice sweetness. The goal is smooth, glossy, liquid silk that mixes beautifully with the espresso.
Okay, we've covered the science, the mechanics, but the perfect cup. It's more than just chemistry, right? It's the whole experience.
Absolutely. Connecting this to the bigger picture, the perfect cup is sensory. It engages everything. Even the mug matters.
The mug, how so?
Well, heat retention, obviously.
Okay.
But also the feel in your hand, the shape of the lip is part of the tactile experience.
And the smell, before you even taste it.
Oh, the aroma is huge. That first hint, is it nutty, fruity, floral, smoky? It primes your palate, sets expectations. It's half the pleasure.
And then the texture, the mouthfeel, how it lingers.
Exactly. The body, the aftertaste, is it clean, is it long, is it pleasant? It's not just the initial hit of flavor, it's the entire journey in your mouth.
So what does this all mean? It means slow down, be present with it.
I think so. Take a moment. Appreciate the aroma, the warmth, the taste. Whether it's your quiet morning ritual or something you share, it can be this little moment of mindfulness, of pleasure.
It's turning coffee from just fuel into an experience, a ritual you craft.
Precisely. A culmination of all these steps resulting in something you genuinely enjoy on multiple levels.
So, wrapping up our deep dive, our brew talk, there's no single perfect cup recipe for everyone, is there?
Nope. Only the perfect cup for you. And finding that, that's the fun part.
It's a journey of trial and error.
Totally. Expect some misses. Burnt beans, weak brews, maybe something too bitter, it happens. But each experiment teaches you something, gets you closer to your ideal. Understanding these elements gives you the tools to tweak and improve.
It transforms it from just making coffee to, like, crafting it with intention.
Exactly. Into a ritual of mindfulness, a source of daily pleasure. The perfect cup isn't just the taste, it's the whole experience you create around it.
So the final thought is,
Take your time. Brew slowly, taste fully. The best cup is the one that brings you joy. Keep exploring.
great advice. We hope this deep dive inspires your own coffee adventures. Until next time, keep exploring, keep tasting, and happy brewing.